Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Thumbtack presents the ins and outs of caring for your home. Out. Uncertainty, self-doubt, stressing about not knowing where to start. In. Plans and guides that make it easy to get home projects done. Out. Word art. Sorry, live, laugh, lovers. In. Knowing what to do, when to do it, and who to hire. Start caring for your home with confidence. Download Thumbtack today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yay, and choo-choo!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. All aboard the murder train, pulling away from the station. We got some wild stuff for you, as usual. If you listen often, you understand that the Express episodes, we pack it in tight. It is 10 pounds of lightning in a 2-pound bag. So we're going to get to that very quickly. First off, shutupandgivememurder.com. Tickets for live shows May 31st. Durham, North Carolina. That is up next. Get your tickets right now. You are on deck. Tickets are almost gone, so get them while they're still there. The next night, Nashville sold out. So Durham, you're the one. Get those tickets and get them for the rest of the year because they are going fast. A few shows are sold out already that are way later on. Minneapolis, you can be our biggest show ever. Get your tickets for Minneapolis. Also, Austin, get your tickets. New York, get your tickets. All these places. Kansas City.
Oklahoma City got opened up.
Oklahoma City, got opened up. Yeah, so do your tickets. Get them now. Shutupandgivememurder.com. And also, there's a bunch of merch there, so enjoy that. And
see you there.
you definitely want Patreon. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports is where you get all of the bonus material.
So much.
So much. You might say, what's Crime in Sports? That's our other podcast you should be listening to, by the way.
Yeah.
And you should also listen to Your Stupid Opinions if you want to. Laugh hysterically for an hour because it's hilarious. Patreon, though, patreon.com/CrimeInSports. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get everything. Whole huge back catalog of bonus stuff that you've never heard before, hundreds of episodes, and new ones every other week. One Crime in Sports, one Small Town Murder, and you get all of it.
You get it all.
You get it all. This week, what you're going to get. For Crime in Sports, we're going to talk about, it's another one of our famous theme park disaster episodes. These are so much fun, and they're really crazy, and they'll make you think twice about roller coasters. And for Small Town Murder, we are going to talk about some of the craziest execution methods in history.
Yeah.
Because people got real creative with that shit a long time ago. So we'll find out what's the wildest things that people have thought up to do to other people. That is patreon.com/CrimeInSports is where you get all that. And you get a shout out at the end of the regular show where Jimmie will try to pronounce your name correctly and probably fail. Yeah. But that's okay because he's trying hard. That said, I think it's time, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's get right into this. I think it's time to clear the lungs. What do you say, everybody? And let's all shout. Shut up
and give me murder.
Let's do this, everybody.
All right.
Let's go on a trip, shall we?
Okay.
We are going somewhere very pretty this week. We are going to Hot Springs, Montana. And
is it nice?
Oh, it's nice. It's in western Montana, all the way over by Idaho in the mountains. Okay. It's in a valley, and it's just all beautiful, picturesque mountains around. And it's
I don't think I knew there was a hot springs up there.
There is, apparently. Yeah. We'll talk all about it, and we'll get into the actual hot springs because some stuff happens there. This is in northwestern Montana near the Idaho border. It is about an hour and 20 to Missoula, Montana. That's the closest place. Yeah. About 4 hours to Manhattan, Montana, which was our last Montana episode 429, a clean-cut serial killer. And nice upstanding young man that loved to kill lots of people. This area code here is 406, population here 618. So it's a very small little town. Like I said, it's all you got to go around mountains to get to things. And median household income here $19,659.
How?
It's brutal. I don't understand it. It's difficult. There's a lot of older people here.
Yeah.
I don't understand how
19 grand
for a household income. That's, a lot of Social Security, but still, that seems, I don't know. Median home
$8,500 a year?
Yeah. A median home price is $224,100, which is lower than the national average. But if you make 20 grand a year, I don't know how you're going to.
I don't know how you do that. Yeah.
The motto here, and it'll make sense when we explain it, is this is weird: limp in, leap out. And that is for it's the properties of the hot springs. Yes. So there are stories about how. And I'm sure they're apocryphal, but there's stories about how, people came in wheelchairs and left like sprinting, like running out of the place, like, cheering and running like they just won a race after they, wheeled in with their legs completely limp and not moving for 20 years. Like there's stories about that. One dip in the hot springs and they were fucking,
they're great.
They won a bronze at the Olympics that year.
That's probably like there's I can't think of anything recently, but there's a lot of snake oil that's been sold over time.
Yeah,
and that's
totally
absolutely one of them. That hot springs will fix all kinds of ailments because they're everywhere, and that was a very common thing. There's one in Arizona that JFK used to go to.
They're in the middle of nowhere too, so you got to get people to want to go there. Yeah, so you need something to draw them here.
Yeah.
So this town was founded as the settlements of Pineville and Camas in the 1890s. It was incorporated in 1929. Previously, it was known as both Camas and Camas Hot Springs for the Camas plant, or Camas plant, I don't know how you say that, that grows all over the place. It's part of the asparagus family, this plant. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. The town itself started as Pineville, and it was right next to Camas there. The Hot Springs Post Office opened in 1913, and all the people went to Hot Springs and not Camas, so that shrunk. But 1918, fire destroyed pretty much all of Main Street, because as happens. That's if you're doing a small town murder drinking game, fire destroys the town is definitely one of the things. Like that'll happen.
That's a freebie though. That's right in the middle.
It's going to happen. And then in 1931, it all burned down again.
Second
they rebuilt
fire.
it, and they were like, no, dry wood is still fine. It was, and it burned to the ground again.
Kiln
Bricks,
drive.
people,
We
bricks.
see we've already put fire on it. So
Wow. It's fine now.
Flame.
It's like a forest. It's all burnt out. Now the soil's rich. The sawmill also burnt down, and the hospital was closed at that point.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
that's not a good sign here. I guess after the Hot Springs Mercantile burned to the ground later on in the 1980s, then cattle prices went down as well, and logging was curtailed, and everybody of the town just dropped like crazy. It was down to 400 people by 1990.
Wow.
Yeah. One review of this town, because there's not a lot of people here. 4 stars. I've lived in this town for most of my life, and I would love to see the town cleaned up. There are so many wonderful people here, but the small size of our community makes the drug problems and poverty really stand out. And we'll find out, too. This area, there's another town called Ronan that's like 20 minutes away where a lot of our participants are from, and Elmo in this area. A lot of these people have serious drug and alcohol problems around here. And I guess if you're making $19,000 a year in your household,
you got to drink about that, right?
Yeah. Things to do here, the Montana Baroque Festival. You know.
The what?
The Baroque Festival, because that's what you expect. From Europe to paradise.
Baroque. Yeah.
Yeah. You expect Spanish music in the hills of Montana.
I thought you were saying we are Baroque.
Baroque Music Festival. It's free. Nope.
Make an instrument and try to play it, because we are Baroque.
Shoebox with some strings on it for a guitar. You make when you're 3. So, that's what it is pretty much. It's 3 nights of classical music performed by renowned musicians. Those people are probably like, what the hell are we watching? And it's weird because there's a lot of Native American people in the area, but the town is 90% white. Though.
Really?
Yeah, so it's a strange, but there are like reservations around, so
sure.
It's a strange area. Also, there is the 75th annual Homesteader Days, of course.
Oh boy.
That's like Frontier Days, same thing.
Yeah.
You got a car show, live music by the 406 Band.
Yeah.
And also The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh.
Which was a great movie. Terrific movie.
Not bad, yeah.
Leone, terrific, wonderful, but I don't know about the band. They just play that over and over again. Just Marconi songs. Just fucking. Also, the Skunk Alley. Anyway. Yeah. The what? The what happened?
I think that was a different movie anyway that I'm whistling. I don't know if that. I think that may have been Sundance Kid. I was doing a different song than you were doing. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm doing. Skunk Alley Fun Run. They're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta have that. That's
we all stink afterwards.
You're gonna stink anyway. Might as well call it out. The Kitty Parade, and I don't mean kitty like cats. I mean kids.
Yikes!
Just parade them all out. Yeah, they're looking good. Them kids parading out there. A horseshoe tournament, a yellow rubber ducky race.
Yeah.
Okay. Cornhole tournament, as that seems pretty omnipresent, and then.
That Luther is a big loser.
That's tough, man. Yeah. And then finally, something that sounds terrifyingly dangerous, an open rodeo. Does it mean anybody can enter? Open.
Do whatever you want.
I think it's anybody can enter, which sounds, you should have to qualify in some way for that, right? To make sure you're not going to kill yourself. Otherwise, you just get tossed off. So there are people that were at this. Here is Wade Wunderlich. Guy who was driving through the area and saw the festival. We've stopped here once before when we came to Montana and had a good time. Him and his wife Angie were traveling, and he said they seem to have added a lot more than when we came here before, and we were having such a good time, we set up the trailer and stayed the night. So
we were just passing through.
Yeah, and said, damn it, let's have a hoedown. So there you go.
Okay.
That said, let's talk about some murder here.
Here we go. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into this. We don't have to go back too far here. 2013, this is going to take place in.
Oh, boy.
So relatively recently, let's talk about a man, big guy. His name is Melvin Mad Plum Jr.
Mad Plum?
Madplume. Mad Plume.
Mad Plume?
Yeah, but I think it's Mad Plum from what I've seen in all the coverage. Junior. And he wants you to make sure that he knows it's Junior and not Senior.
Yeah.
By the way.
And Mad Plum is not a nickname.
No. Mad Plum is his nickname. That's his last name. He has a nickname here. He's 29 years old in 2013. His nickname, this is in the family. He's got a huge family, and his nickname is Uncle Bug Bug. Uncle Bug Bug, because he has bugs, I think, is the point as we get into him. Okay. He, from what I found here, in 1991, he has like 6 brothers and sisters, Melvin, and we know they're poor because I found a court action here where they're talking about Melvin Sr. can't pay his rent, and he's trying to request that like he not get kicked out, and there's a court thing. It's saying he lost his job and has 7 children to support.
Yikes.
So that's what he's coming from, Mad Plum here, okay? That's Senior. Now, in 2003, he has a problem with a family member here, okay, or a friend, Melvin Jr. now. Melvin Jr., he has a good friend of his, and he rented his friend's Ford Ranger pickup for $20.
For the day?
I suppose, yeah. It's like
for a time.
Like an Uber without the driver. Just here's the car. Go ahead. So there was no discussion of driving it, but it was understood that the truck was not insured. He didn't say where he was going with it. He just needed to do some stuff.
Yeah.
He's renting out his non-insured truck, which is always a good thing to do.
That is balls, man.
That's ballsy.
That's the most reckless thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah, if you have a non-insured truck, you can't charge for that.
No.
This person could get pulled over and get arrested for that, for Christ's sake. So the owner had to have the truck back by 7 a.m. the following morning. That was the rule. He has to go to work, so you got to have the truck back.
Right.
So Melvin, Uncle Bug Bug, takes the vehicle, and then he said he got word that his grandmother was very ill in the hospital in a town called Browning.
Yeah.
So he said he tried to locate his friend to ask permission to keep it a little longer, but he couldn't get a hold of him, so he just went to Browning to see his grandma with this guy's uninsured truck that he needs at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I was expecting that.
He's not getting it 7 a.m.
Not getting it. So I guess he was trying to. He leaves the hospital as this is all his story that we don't know if it's actually what he did. And I don't think it's what he did because he's trying to get back by 7 a.m., and he's driving back after being up all night, and he fell asleep at the wheel and crashed the pickup truck and destroyed it beyond all repair. Totaled
my God.
Totaled his uninsured truck. So his friend got $20 to have his truck destroyed with no recompense whatsoever from that shit.
And he's not getting it back at 7 a.m. nor any other 7 a.m.
Nope. He's standing out front with like his lunchbox. Like a thermos in it, looking at his watch every couple minutes, looking down the road.
Yeah.
And he hears a car. Is that? Oh, nope, that's not it. Okay.
10 a.m. May as well just start eating this lunch.
Yep. And Melvin hurt himself as well in the crash. He fucked it up pretty good.
Yeah.
So for 7 months, he kept promising he'd pay for the truck.
7 months.
Until finally this guy filed charges on him.
Yeah.
This friend. And I guess it was like a joyriding statute based on a report here. So he said he paid for the truck that he totaled and no criminal charges should have been filed. That's what he said. I paid $20. He was found guilty of violating these laws, and the trial court found that the value of the wrecked vehicle was $2,500, and sentencing was deferred provided he made restitution in that sum by August 11th, 2004.
They valued it at
$2,500. So, what, like 100 rentals. So,
It's a bad truck.
100 rentals you can pay for. It's not a great truck. So that's what we're dealing with. Melvin is not the most responsible guy in the world, and he's kind of a mess. So he does love the hot springs, though, in Hot Springs, Montana. Oh, yes, he does. In mid-May, he goes to them to sit and relax. Yeah. In mid-May 2013 here, we'll talk about the hot springs a little bit. Mad Plume and his friend Basu Aeneas go to his cousin's house. His cousin's name is JB, and his cousin is 40 years old. And he says, hey, would you drive us to Wild Horse, which is the Wild Horse Hot Springs, which is where you go to sit in the hot springs.
Yeah.
And everybody's cousins here, by the way. We got 3 cousins, okay? Now, the hot springs, by the way, was developed in 1913, the Wild Horse Hot Springs. A well driller hit 128-degree water.
Wow.
It went, holy shit. Yeah. So the place now, they say it has private plunges, but little else. Basically has hot tubs that are fed by the hot springs. So it's naturally hot water.
Yeah.
So it was originally known as the Camp Aqua Bathhouse. That's the Wild Horse Hot Springs. But the person who found it was Molly Bartlett in 1912.
A gal did it.
Well, she wasn't personally drilling, but she's a rich lady who was having people drill. But she's drilling a well for drinking water, and they said this is a little hot to drink, really, here.
You're going to have to buy some ice.
She was the daughter of Robert B. Smith, who was the 3rd governor of Montana. That's why I'm saying. I don't think she's out digging many deep holes, probably.
No. I'm sure she doesn't have a shovel.
No. So she raised money for a project named the Montana Warm Water Project for Crippled Children in 1941 to construct a polio treatment center for children named Camp Aqua. And that's where this came from, this place. And then they built a public resort later. And in the 80s, it was funded by a Montana Renewable Energy Grant. So that's what's going on. Changed its name to the Wild Horse Hot Springs in the early 1990s when the property changed owners, and it shifted from public ownership to private ownership. Somebody bought it from the government here. So the hot springs are fed by the Mother Dragon Geyser. And the mineral content of the water includes bicarbonate, calcium, carbonate, iron, manganese, and magnesium.
That's some heavy-ass water, man.
That's heavy fucking water. Yeah. Oh, also potassium, silica, sodium, sulfate, and then others, too.
Yeah.
And the mineral water goes from about 100 to 128 degrees. And
it can't be very clear, right? That's fucking hot, too.
Apparently it is clear because, it's from down there and the water's pure-ish. You know
really?
What I mean? It's not, like, dirty.
It doesn't have, like... all right.
So Melvin, Uncle Bug, Mad Plume, and his cousin, who he's asking for a ride. Melvin's 29, his cousin's 40. The Basu guy, the other cousin, he's a teenager. So we got a varied, it's like 16, 29, and 40, and they're all hanging out. So Mad Plume explained that he and his teenage cousin have been drinking all day, and
really,
we need a sober driver to take us to the hot springs. We're never going to make it. We're shit-faced.
Yeah.
Which is actually probably a step up in responsibility.
Yeah.
At least
I've destroyed cars when I was sleeping.
That's what I mean. Oh, he was probably up drinking all night based on it.
I'm sure he was.
Melvin's an alcoholic, so I think that's why he crashed the truck probably. So this guy really didn't want to go, but he said, I guess, I'd rather have that than you guys fucking do that.
Take my car. Yeah.
No, it's Mad Plume's car. He shows up with his own car and just says, it's like a half-hour drive, and he's like, we can't get there, man, so will you just drive my car here? And he said, all right, fine. They all go outside. They're farting around for a minute, and then they end up taking off, and Mad Plume's like, I'll just drive. He showed up for the express perp. That's how drunk he is.
Begging for a ride.
He forgot why he was there to begin with, which was to get this guy to drive. He ended up driving. So Mad Plume kind of really pressures JB here, the cousin, to the 40-year-old to have 2 shots of whiskey. Come on, drink some whiskey. Come on, let's go. Have shots. This is in the car on the way there.
I'm sure it's great whiskey.
And they also began drinking beer on the way also. So everyone's drinking beer and whiskey in the car. They arrive at the Wild Horse Hot Springs. JB notices that no one's working at the front desk.
There's a front desk.
And so, it's like,
private one.
You check in and you pay and you go and you have a certain amount of times for soak time and all that kind of shit. And this place is still, we'll talk about it, but there's reviews.
And 128 degrees, James, you shouldn't be in that for very long.
Well, no, it cools to about 108 once it gets into the plunges, it says. So it's underground. Yeah, that's what a bath would be.
No way.
Fuck yeah, a bath. Your body
Are you
temperature
serious?
Your body temperature is 98, so anything lower than that, it feels cold. So if it
but
feels
a jacuzzi is like 101, and that shit's hot.
Yeah, no, that's 100 or 104 to 108. It says here, it cools to. So I mean, that's hot, but I think that's why you're going there. It's a hot spring. People go in
suppose,
saunas.
yeah.
That's not my thing, but it sounds hot. So they get there. No one's working at the front desk. JB said, well, he didn't want to go inside because there's no buddy to check in with. We're just going to walk in. And Mad Plume here, Uncle Bug says he reserved a room. Don't worry about it. Let's go. So 3 of these drunken people head into room 4. And room 4 features a private plunge room and a sauna.
Oh, so it's got a room around it.
Yes, they built it around what they've pumped it into. So the plunge room houses a sunken cement hot tub filled with water piped in from the hot spring. So
awesome.
It sounds pretty cool. And the tub is situated against 2 walls in the corner of a room. So it's in the corner there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
There's a high metal railing that wraps around the tub's 2 open sides and down 7 concrete steps into the tub.
It's deep.
So it's deep. Yeah, it's very, very fucking deep. So because of the railing, the steps are the only way in and out of the tub because otherwise you're blocked by the railing. A short ledge along one wall is where the seating is. That's where you can sit over there. Okay. Now in the corner of the plunge room opposite the tub, there's a metal door with a glass window that leads to a small sauna.
Okay.
So we all have the picture of this in our brains here.
Yeah.
Because room 4 will come up often. So JB here, he didn't want to go into the hot tub with Melvin and Basu here because he's a diabetic who recently had 2 toes amputated on his foot.
Oh, my God.
And he was self-conscious and also worried about getting an infection from the hot water.
Right.
It's not chlorinated or anything like that.
This is wild water.
There could be bacteria in there, yeah. So he said that he told Melvin that he didn't want to go because it was too early. He's like, it's too early to go in there. I don't want to go in there right now. I got my
Still got
thing.
stitches. Yeah.
So Melvin kept saying, get in the water, and all that kind of thing. Melvin said, I'm a CNA because he used to work as a CNA, which is, healthcare person.
Which is useless.
Which is a guy, that's not useless. They do stuff. I mean, you want to clean sick people's bedpans? Because that's what they do.
That's what they do. They don't fucking, they don't know medics. Prescribe shit. No.
No, I wouldn't go to them for medical advice.
No.
God, but,
no.
It's definitely a handy job to have.
Sure.
Without those
in this
people,
situation,
with
a guy with a guy with a wound, useless.
He doesn't know shit. Yeah.
No.
Doesn't know shit about it. But he says, no, I'm a CNA. No problem. He said, the hot water's good for your foot.
Yeah.
So hot, strange water with possible bacteria, good for your foot. Don't worry about it.
The warmer it is, the more it breathes, right?
Well, yeah, that's generally how it works. Well, there's a real like the golden zone, really, where life really goes, and that's right in the middle of it.
It's right in it. It needs to boil to kill shit.
You got to get up to that's like where they keep like a hollandaise sauce. That's why it always gets you sick. It's right in the sweet spot for bacteria to live.
Yeah.
So they're in this hollandaise pool. And, so he's telling him that. And when he finally, Mad Plume just insists, you got to come in here. So finally he says, okay, fine. Fuck me. I'll come in here. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Then Mad Plume begins pestering JB. Let me see your foot. Let me see your foot up close. I want to see your foot. Let me take a fucking gander at that bad boy. And he's like, no, I don't want to show it to you because I don't know. He's self-conscious.
It's embarrassing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
he's
don't like it.
No, let's get those bandages off. Let's really see the wound. Can you see bone? So finally, this JB he's not real sturdy in his convictions, though, because he didn't want to go, and here he is. He didn't want to drink, and he's drinking. He didn't want to be in
the water.
He's in the water. Here he's in the water. Now he doesn't want to show this guy his foot, and here he is saying, I guess here's my foot, and lifting it up and letting him show. So Mad Plum is very insistent. Yeah. Melvin, while he's doing this, he rubs JB's inner thigh. Okay. Which JB interprets as a sexual advance and kind of jumps back a little and pushes him off him. Because number one, it's his cousin, and number two, nobody here is like a gay man. Everybody here is purportedly likes women, so it's like, what's going on here? Jesus Christ, how drunk are you? You know what I mean? So at that point, Melvin turns to the teenager, the other cousin, Basu, and tells him to leave the room. Leave the room. This guy better hope that limp in, leap out motto is fucking right, because his toes are going to. This water make toes grow back.
Better
Holy
starfish
shit.
the shit out of this foot.
Wow. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So he does. Basu, he leaves.
Wow.
The kid takes off.
Yeah.
Once he's gone, Mad Plume says to JB, totally apropos of nothing, and they've known each other their whole lives, and nothing like this has ever come up. So it's not like, Melvin's always trying to fuck everybody. Like, this never came up before. So now Melvin is telling JB that you were leading me on. What's going on? JB's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You've been flirting with me all night?
You've been flirting with me since 1987. Like, what? So
okay,
JB's like, you're out of your fucking mind, bro. Like, you're out of your mind. No, what are you talking about?
I've done none of these things.
I'm leaving now. So he gets up and tries to leave, but he's a combination of the fact that he's been drinking for 3 hours and the fact that it's really, really fucking hot in there and the fact that he just had foot surgery makes him all woozy on his feet. So he's not able to, like, really take off. He's just kind of stumbling around. Mad Plume here, Melvin blocks the steps out of the hot tub and pushes JB back into the water multiple times.
Oh, my God.
Which is terrifying if, number one, he's a pretty big guy, Melvin, and he's very drunk. And also, this guy doesn't have, like, he just had toes removed. So he's not at his most physically virile to fight somebody off.
He's not in a fucking championship boxing match shape. He's also 40, and 40 and just had surgery is no good either.
Not at all. No, it takes longer to recover. So eventually, after this back and forth, this happened like multiple times. He tries to get up. He pushes him back in the water. Mad Plume just comes right out and says it and says, "Turn around and drop your trunks."
Oh, God.
Like, we're at the doctor now. Like, this is. I am a CNA, remember. I'm gonna do the rectal examination. So his cousin said, "Why?"
Yeah,
I think it's pretty obvious why. I think you need to say
what he wants. Yeah,
and Mad Plume said, "You know what I mean."
He just found out about this, huh?
Yeah, so then he tries to get out a couple more times.
Yeah.
And he said the second time he pushed him back in the water after the drop your trunks remark, his cousin here, JB, said the second time I was getting kind of scared. He wanted to rape me. He's like prison gay.
Gay, yeah.
He gets jacked up and he wants to fucking dominate people. It has nothing to do with what hole they have, I don't think.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Because otherwise he's with women sometimes and there's not a...
Wow.
He doesn't like, and like I said, they've known him his whole life. This has never come up before. So,
yeah, this is, if he's not gay, even if we're not finding, this is absolutely the worst way to find out your cousin has homosexual proclivities at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess there's unless, and otherwise you wouldn't care at all. Why would you?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even people who don't really like gay people will say, like, as long as they're not trying to fuck me, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, he's literally trying to fuck him, so whether he's gay or not is not the concern. The concern is I don't want you to fuck me.
He wants to rape me. Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. There, terrible way to find out he wants to rape me, I think is the perfect way to put it. So eventually, JB pushes past him and says, "This is bull. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Fuck you." Puts his shoes on and takes off.
Okay,
it's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Walks out of the room.
Got out.
Now JB finds the younger cousin Basu outside and tells him what happened. And he said, this fucking guy he told me to drop my fucking drawers and turn around. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. He said, don't be alone with him. Just be careful. But the problem is there's no cell service in this area at all. Uh-huh. So their phones are completely dead and they have no way to get out of here except for
his car.
He's the one who drove them there. So they're like, fuck, this is terrible.
The worst.
We got to get in this car. Mad Plume eventually comes out and offers to drive them home, and they're like, we got to take it. There's nothing else to... What else are we going to do?
God.
Not only is he shit-faced, I don't know what's scarier. The fact that he's been drinking whiskey all day or the fact that he just tried to have sex with me forcible sex with me in the fucking sauna. So
he drove me all the way to the woods for this.
This is scary. So the ride began with Mad Plume speeding toward the highway. He was drifting from side to side across the dirt road leading away from the wild horse, like doing one of those.
Yeah, sliding it.
Once they got to the highway, instead of turning left toward JB's house, Mad Plume turned right toward Hot Springs, the town. Mm-hmm. So Mad Plume then sped past a cutoff road to Ronan, which got him where they wanted to go too.
Right.
So JB started getting mad and said, pull over. God damn it, you fucking idiot. Pull over right fucking now. I'm getting out of this goddamn car. You're driving like an asshole. You're not going where we need to go. So Mad Plume stopped, and JB gets out and starts walking.
Yeah.
There's a convenience store a few miles down the road. He starts heading toward it. So about 20 minutes, and Mad Plume just drove off. So about 20 minutes later, Mad Plume comes back again with, I don't know if the younger cousin was like, dude, he just had 2 toes removed. He can't walk. This is crazy.
The guy's on 8 toes out there.
So he pulls up and he says, come on, get back in. I swear I'll drive you home. It's all fine. Everything's fine. He gets back in the car, starts driving crazy again all over the road, but eventually takes JB back to his house. He's had quite the harrowing experience here.
What a day.
What a fucking day that's been, right?
Oh, boy.
So May 25th, 2013, about 2 weeks later, Mad Plume wants to go back to the hot springs again. Okay. He wants to go again. He purchases 2 bottles of rum for the day to go there. And heads over to his cousin's mother's house. So I guess that'd be his aunt's house. For a late breakfast this day. His cousin is Lawrence Kenmill, Kenmille. His nickname, everybody calls him La. Yeah, like La, I guess. La, like Larry, Lawrence, La. So a lot of Larrys.
Larry's real hard.
Yeah, it's hard to get that second fucking syllable out. Like Susie calls Larry David on fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm. La. So he's 27. Lawrence Kenmill here. He's married to a woman named Terry and has 4 kids. That's a lot for 27.
He sure is, yeah.
A wife named Terry and 4 kids is a lot for a 27-year-old. That's at least a 44-year-old.
It's also fascinating that all of these cousins and nobody has the same name.
No. They're all, well, I got a lot of cousins with different
It's a lot
names.
of, I mean, it could be a lot of women that were married. You know what I mean? A guy has a bunch of daughters. They
get married off. They make a
names.
bunch of cousins. As well. Yeah, that's probably what happened here.
But I'll bet it's a lot of divorce, too, that do this.
Yeah. So also here, Lawrence is part of the Elmo-based Chief Cliff drum group. And they said he's a great singer. Everybody says he's a real great singer. He sings for the drum group and all that kind of shit. So at the time, Lawrence is staying at his mother's house where Melvin has come to eat breakfast.
Yeah.
So Mad Plume talks to them, eats breakfast, goes around, farts around in the neighborhood, talks to people. There's friends and family that he knows in this neighborhood. Yeah. He talks to everybody. And he and Lawrence at that time, Lawrence, another cousin named Eusta Aeneas, Eusta, we'll call him here, and his 16-year-old, he's the 16-year-old brother of the other guy. Okay, this is very confusing. So Mad Plume, Lawrence, I have gone over this 100 times today, and I was still confused on the cousins because it's a family tree that I really could use a picture. A visual would help me out a lot here. Mad Plume, Lawrence, his cousin Eusta, there you go. Eusta is 16, by the way.
And he's the younger brother of the other one that was up there with him last time.
Exactly. He's the younger brother of that guy. So they all go to the Wild Horse again. They're going to the Wild Horse Hot Springs. According to the employees, they showed up, the three of them, about 3 o'clock and already had been drinking rum.
Hammered.
Hammered, and Mad Plume has more rum with him. So
of course he does.
The employees noticed that Lawrence Kenmill was boisterous at first, but as the day went on, he became more shit-faced and more quiet. Yeah. He's the type that booze takes him down. It doesn't make him go up. So that's it.
He's 16, man.
No, Lawrence is not 16.
He's a 29-year-old.
Yes, yeah, Lawrence is 27.
Eusta's the 16-year-old.
Eusta's the 16-year-old, but Lawrence is the one, he starts coming down and that sort of shit. So, yeah, later in the afternoon, an employee noticed that Lawrence's speech was slurred and he was leaning on walls for support. You know, when you ask people to leave an establishment when they're like that.
At the point when they're ready to be removed.
They're waiting for him to throw up on himself so they can ask him to leave. They said that Mad Plume seemed normal. Didn't seem that shit-faced. Mad Plume is an alcoholic, too, is the other thing. He's one of those guys, I think he's a functional alcoholic. I think he can be drinking and you don't notice. So around 5 p.m., they make their way to room 4 again.
Same room.
Here. So Mad Plume and Lawrence put on swim trunks and get into the hot tub, but Eusta, maybe it's because he heard what happened to his brother.
Yeah, he knows.
He said he was feeling sick and he's going to wait in the lobby.
Okay.
I'm feeling like I don't feel like getting raped by my cousin, so I'm going to wait in the lobby.
Also feeling like I'm not feeling like I want to be asked to leave a room so that my other cousin can be raped by my other cousin.
All of this cousin raping is really too much for me. So over the course of the evening, though, Eusta made several trips back to room 4 to ask the two, Mad Plume and Lawrence, if they're ready to go yet. Because he's fucking bored. He's just sitting in the lobby, and there's no cell phone service even, so he can't even,
play it.
Was it 2013? He can't even play Angry Birds. Like, he's got nothing. So the second time Eusta checked in on him, he said Lawrence seemed barely awake, and his eyes were closed and his head was down but above the water. So he was just kind of chin on the chest. Had too much to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Eusta was like, is he all right? And Mad Plume's like, he's fine. He's just shit-faced. It's all good. And he said, we'll be done soon. We'll see you in a minute. So, okay. Back in the lobby, Eusta tells one of the employees of the Wild Horse about Lawrence's condition. Like, man, my cousin's fucked up in there. He's like passed out with his head down. The employee said, I'll check on him. So then Eusta went looking for something to eat. And he, like if they have a snack machine or something. So he passes room 4 along the way. He glanced through the window and saw Mad Plum hunched over as if he was carrying something. But it didn't concern him. He didn't enter the room to see what was going on. He just continued down the hall there.
Yeah.
So the final time Eusta went back to the room, he saw Lawrence sitting naked next to Mad Plum in the hot tub. He said there he was naked. He saw.
Okay, he could tell.
He could tell, so he could see his dick bobbing above the water, I guess. So Mad Plum said, no, we're all right. Everything's still fine. It's all good. But Eustace said, I don't know, I worried a little bit, mainly because the water around Lawrence seemed to be tinted red a bit. You know, with
like
blood.
Yeah.
A little bit of concern there.
Yeah.
He also saw the glass in the door to the sauna was broken, and shards of glass on the floor appeared to have blood on them and be speckled with blood.
Oh, boy.
Mad Plume just says, Lawrence slipped and fell earlier, but he's fine. He said he's just faking being asleep, too. He's not even asleep, actually. We're talking, and he's just being a dick.
Guy's faking it.
He said he's, quote, messing around and playing possum. Just playing possum. Just pretending to be passed out. What's the joke here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, there's no problem. There's no problem. Now, he said at that point, Mad Plume said, yeah, he's talking right now. He's talking to me. The kid didn't hear him talk, but he's like, all right, I guess if he's fine, he's fine.
Yeah.
Then he went back to the lobby again, Eusta, and told one of the employees, have you checked on them? Yeah, you should really check on them.
Yeah.
Check on my cousin. And so he said, all right, fine. So Derek Smith is working at the Wild Horse, him and his father, Dave Smith. Derek goes and checks on Lawrence, enters the plunge room, and asked if they needed anything. Okay, you guys need anything? You know, one of those. Derek noticed that Lawrence was in the corner of the hot tub, leaning forward with his face in the water, while Mad Plum sat next to him, patting him on the back. He said,
buddy.
His face is in the water.
Yeah.
And he said, no, we're good. We don't need anything. And Derek just went, okay, and left. Didn't say, is that guy okay? Wait 20 seconds to see if he comes up. How's that? Like, after a while, he needs to breathe.
I mean, beat around the bush a little. You sure you don't need towels or like
anything?
I got coffee in there. I could bring some coffee up if you guys want some coffee.
You know what, too? I got a bottle of Captain Morgan under my fucking... What do you think of that? You know, something.
If you don't like that, I got bottled water, though, because sometimes people sit in this water and they need a water.
They want another water. So at some point in the afternoon, his dad, Dave, reported hearing glass breaking in the direction of room 4, as well as a noise that he described as the sounds of men roughhousing and laughing. So one of the owners of the Wild Horse then walked by the room to see if the front window was broken in that room, but didn't go inside the room to see if glass was broken elsewhere. It was like, okay, this window's intact, fine. They didn't break anything. So then that was the first time. The second time after they noticed blood on the broken glass, that's Derek goes back again here. Mm-hmm. And during that check-in, he said... He asked Mad Plume, or Mad Plume asked him if he would help pull Lawrence out of the tub. He's real fucked up. Will you help me pull him out? So Derek said that the water in the tub was murky, as if someone had vomited in it. That's what he said.
Ew.
Looked like that. So it had some shit in it there.
Yeah.
Mad Plume pushed Lawrence to a spot where Derek and Eusta could reach over the tub's railing and help pull him out. As they were moving him, Mad Plume's grip slipped, and Lawrence's face sank under the water, but he didn't he just limply went under the water. He didn't pop up not being able to breathe or anything, which is weird. So after they moved Lawrence from the tub, Derek, the employee, notices bruising on Lawrence's shins. So Derek went back to the lobby to get his father. Lawrence is laying unresponsive, and blood began to pool under the back of his head as he's laying there.
Oh, shit.
So now they're like, holy shit. So now Mad Plume, Eusta, Derek, and Dave are trying to figure out what to do. They're sitting around looking at this person bleeding out on the floor going, what do we do?
Is there not 911 at the front desk?
No. Well, they end up, at first, they decided to try to put him in Mad Plume's car to drive him to the hospital. So this is how much time is wasting. They pick him up, they bring him outside, they try to put him in the car, but his knees are already too stiff to bend. And he's too fucking tall to fit in the back seat unless he's bent up
and
to lay down.
He's riggering already.
He's riggering. So they pull him out of the car, and then they call 911. They didn't call 911 ahead of time.
Say we're on our way? Nothing. And Eusta started CPR on a man who's too stiff dead.
To move already.
Yeah. He's dead.
Yeah. So the ambulance arrives and takes him to the hospital where he arrives dead.
Yeah.
Here in nearby Plains. Mad Plume drives away with Eusta to, quote, follow the ambulance, he said. Mm-hmm. But when they arrived in Plains, Mad Plume drove past the hospital and into a wooded area.
Yeah, I'm not going to the hospital.
He drove into the woods, and they said he sped up. Like, as soon as he saw the hospital, he gunned it past the hospital and into the woods instead. He said he was driving 90 miles an hour at one point.
Very normal.
When they passed a police officer who had another car pulled over on the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as they approach Thompson Falls, Eustace says, he literally says, I will grab the steering wheel and crash this fucking car if you don't turn it around.
Yeah.
Fucking, we're going back there. That's crazy. We got to see if our cousin's dead. Like, this is nuts. So Mad Plume finally turns the car around, but on the way back to Plains, the officer they passed earlier catches up to them, goes, oh, you're the assholes we saw. Perfect. Thanks for turning around.
Yeah, seen you ripping her a minute ago.
Pulls him over and arrests Mad Plume for reckless driving.
Yeah.
So they bring him
DUI?
in. Well, that probably too, I'm sure. But I mean, it was the driving, you were going to jail anyway. Oh, you're drunk too, stupid. That would explain it. So Lawrence arrives at the hospital and he's pronounced dead when they get there, obviously. So he is sent for an examination, post-mortem here. They find in the examination, upon examining Ken Meal's body, the medical examiner noted that Lawrence had multiple contusions to both the front and back of his head, as well as abrasions on his face and nose. Also, a large, deep gash on his right arm extending from the elbow to the wrist, and multiple bruises on the front of both shins. Okay, he said that the findings say that this wasn't consistent with a single fall. This is a lot of falls if it's a fall, because it doesn't look like that. They said there's blunt force injuries to the head, abdomen, and extremities, and hyperinflated lungs, fluid in the sinus, and froth in the airways. So he drowned. They said that he was drowned. The finding is that he was drowned violently. It wasn't an accident. Somebody fucking drowned him. Weird thing here. They note anal dilation, rectal bruising, and two internal lacerations consistent with being forcibly penetrated.
Wow.
As well. Okay.
Did he hold him under while?
I mean, dude, we don't know here. So
anything's possible.
Anything's possible. This guy's clearly a little fucking, bonjour here. He's gone off the deep end. So
bad man.
Bad guy. So they already have Melvin in jail. So they bring him in, have a chit chat with him here. Let's see what you got. Right. So he denied having any sexual interest in Lawrence at all. That never happened. He said, because that's what they asked him at first, you guys have any kind of sexual relationship? And he said, no, God, no. We both like women. He's married with 4 kids. What are you talking about? He also was surprised that his cousin was dead. He said.
Really?
He was in rigor. You didn't notice that? I never noticed. He said, quote, I'm completely in shock. That's what Mad Plume said to the cop. I didn't know anything was wrong. I didn't know anything was wrong with him.
You had to get him out, man.
Blood pouring out, not breathing, someone doing CPR while an ambulance screeches up. Had no idea anything was the matter. Yep, he said, I didn't know anything was wrong with him. And then he said, quote, the sad thing is I ain't going to be able to be at his services or anything.
No, you're not.
That's what he said. That's the sad thing. I ain't going to be able to go to his services or anything because I'm in jail here.
I got arrested for reckless driving.
Yeah, so I'm stuck here. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping, you got a car payment due, there's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmie had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at hero.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So they said, well, what happened? How did he get in this condition? Because he was with you and you were the only person with him. And he said, quote, I honestly blacked out.
Okay.
And he said, I don't remember everything. I'm very confused about what I remember. I don't even know what I remember. That's how little I remember.
Yeah. Some of the memories, I don't even know what they are.
Yep. One of the questions he said, I don't know about that. I black out when I'm really drunk. I'm one of those alcoholics who will drink till I black out. And the scary part is a lot of times you can't even tell those fucking people are drunk. You can't even tell. They seem fine. And I was watching On Patrol, and this lady had went before her turn. She turned into a fucking ravine instead. Like she took that as the turn. And her car was like sitting up, and she was this like 55-year-old lady who lived she lived 100 yards from where this fucking happened. And she's like, oh gosh, geez, that's terrible. She kept saying, oh geez, oh gosh, oh no. I
can't believe I did this. Yeah.
She said, I guess I wasn't paying attention. I come here, on this road a million times. I was at the Home Depot and I went here. Turns out her blood alcohol was 0.345 or some shit, which most people will die with that much alcohol.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Yeah.
You couldn't even tell she was fucking drunk. They didn't. Yeah. They only did the test because they were like, we have to because she crashed, so something must be wrong. But they didn't even notice that she was drunk. She didn't smell of alcohol, nothing. But she'd been drinking all day.
She's perfected it.
Yeah,
she drinks that vodka for the no smell.
Yep. That's an alcoholic. Just you can't even see it. So I mean, it was like fucking 7:00 at night too, like wherever it was. It was crazy.
Yeah. My uncle got one at 2 PM making a right-hand turn. He just, you know where it is. It's a 24th Street Cactus. He just didn't turn hard enough, and he fucking hit the car turning left.
Oh God,
And then he got out of the car, and they made the cops breathalyze him. They're like, you don't smell that on him, and then they breathalyzed him, and it was way too high.
Well, shit, Jesus.
And that's what he is. He was a blackout drunk.
So the sheriff here, the undersheriff, told Mad Plume that your cousin has injuries indicating he'd been hit on the head not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 to 5 times. and not all at the same time either, over a period of longer times.
A rap now? Some shit happening, a rap now?
He said, I don't know where that came from, even though I was the only other person in the room. Yeah. He said, well, the medical examiner found rectal bruising and lacerations on him. And Mad Plume's response was, quote, that surprises me.
I didn't even know he was gay.
I didn't see him stick anything up his ass. Weird. Yeah, had no idea. He said, I had nothing to do with that. So that's pretty fucking fun. I had nothing to do with that at all.
Yeah.
He had total surprise. He goes, I don't know what you're talking about. He said he's never engaged in any type of, quote, homosexual activity, he said, but he couldn't remember whether he made a pass at a different male at the hot springs the weekend before. Because they said, well, your cousin says that you made a pass at him the weekend before. Yeah. And he says, I don't remember that. That's crazy. He says, but because I do black out when I get drunk. That's the thing. That's one thing. So they asked him, well, would you consent to an oral swab for a DNA test? So we'll just get this over with quick. And he said that, I feel like you're trying to railroad me. I'm not doing this anymore. I want a lawyer. That was that.
Okay.
End of the interview. Y'all are trying to railroad me. You want a DNA swab. So they charge him with deliberate homicide and sexual intercourse without consent, but later amended the charges to a single count of deliberate homicide under the felony murder rule with sexual intercourse without consent as the predicate offense. So wrapped up in one rather than two separate charges. It's kind of wrapped up in one. Different states, different laws. Yeah. So before trial, he wants to have, or his lawyers want to have, excluded the evidence of the prior weekend's cousin incident.
Let's not talk about that one.
Let's not do that. Generally, prior bad acts are barred from being entered into a trial, but the state intends to use the evidence to show Mad Plum's motive, opportunity, intent, preparation, and plan, all of which are uses specifically allowed by Rule 404, which is the law that allows. That's how this is all
also
done. So,
his MO.
It's everything. If it's an exact replica of what he did here and shows he had a plan the weekend before that didn't work out, he refined it. Yeah. That's what it looks like. So they allow all of this evidence in as evidence of proof of motive, opportunity, intent, preparation, and plan. All that shit, which is all the things that you need. So in the trial, by the way, Lawrence's family, which is also his family, but members that are close to Lawrence, all wore the same shirt, which had a smiling Lawrence on his graduation day from 2 Eagle River High School in Pablo more than 9 years ago. And it says, in loving memory, and it says La below it. If you kill someone and the family all shows up to court wearing the same special T-shirt, you're fucked. You are so fucked. Yeah. You are so fucked. You're always going away forever when that happens. You see that, oh, shit, they made T-shirts. Fuck me. They're marketing. They got a marketing campaign. I'm screwed. I got nothing. So his cousin testifies, the one where they tried to go after there, and he on cross-examination they say they get him on the fact that they said he never specifically asked you to have sex, right? He didn't say, I'm going to fuck you. He didn't say, we're going to have sex now. He didn't say any of that, right?
He said, turn around and drop your trunks.
Well, the guy said, quote, aside from the part where he told me to turn around and pull my pants down, no, he never touched my genitals. That's what he said. Aside from the demand for rape, he didn't. Yeah. So in the closing arguments here, the prosecutor, the state asserts that the state really kind of plays on the sexual nature of the thing, which is going to be funky later on. He said that the state asserted that wanting to hide his sexual feelings toward both of his cousins, the one he went after first and Lawrence, Mad Plume brought the other two along, Yusta and Basu, in the different times to make the other two feel comfortable. Look, it's not just us.
Look, there's children here.
Yeah. Now, Mad Plume says, his lawyers say that the state's reasoning was designed to elicit fears about homosexual men physically assaulting straight men. Mad Plume also, which isn't a big fear, by the way, for coming from two straight guys, how afraid of that are you?
Very, very little.
Very little afraid of that, yeah. Unless I go to prison, I'm very little afraid of that, yeah. Otherwise, I feel like I can hold my own fine if you're trying to fuck me. You know what I mean? So,
as an adult,
Yeah, that's what I mean. As a full-grown, as a 40-something-year-old man with a beard.
But I can fend it off.
Yeah. Hey, motherfucker, what's up? And he said, when you start to listen to, but yeah, he's trying to make it sound like the prosecution is saying, like, this is you're walking down the street, everyone's covering their butthole. Everybody. You never know when it's going to happen. He said, when you start to listen to JB's story and you look at what happened to Lawrence in that room, there's really simple logical deduction here that helps you conclude beyond a reasonable doubt what happened. Lawrence wasn't as lucky as JB.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Verdict comes in, and they find him guilty of murder and deliberate murder under the felony rule. So not good for him here. He could get the death penalty. He could get life without parole or life with parole. So the separate charge of the sexual intercourse without consent was dropped, like I said, and it was wrapped up into the other one, and that's what we have now. So it's a felony. It's a real bad felony murder at this point.
It's
not good.
Aggravated murder, yeah.
Sentencing comes around, and both sides of the family are going to speak. The ones who support Uncle Bug there, Melvin, it is bonkers what they say in court, man. It's
What are they going to say?
It's crazy. So here's Lawrence's family. This is one of his cousins, I believe. This was a horrendous crime and a calculated crime that has devastated two families, and you're entirely responsible for it. They say, there are days I can't even get up. It hurts so much. That's Lawrence's mother, says that. Describes what it's like to talk about the father. Children have lost their father. A wife lost a husband. I lost my kid. One of her granddaughters, she said, is having a hard time in school. This is one of his children, having a hard time in school. And she, quote, she's fighting every day because she doesn't understand where her dad is. She's hurting so bad. She's torturing everybody, lashing out.
So we need him out because of it.
No. This just saying you've done this, you motherfucker. This is Larry's kids are having a hard time. Another granddaughter has completely just shut down. She said she's trying to be an adult, but she's not. She's just a little girl. I mean, these kids can't handle this. Another grandmother of his kids, his wife's mother, said that they don't understand it because all the kids around here, his kids included, love you. You're always nice to them. They call you Uncle Bug for fuck's sake. Right. Like you have a nickname. That's how much the kids like you. He said they don't understand that because you were their uncle. They love you and they're scared. You've destroyed my whole family, she said. Yeah. That's the thing there. This guy comes over all the time. They know each other. It hasn't
That's crazy.
It's not like he hadn't seen Lawrence in 10 years and then he showed up going, let's go to the hot tubs. Like he's all hanging out all the time. He came over to eat breakfast because his mother made him breakfast. So, wow, they said one of the kids got diagnosed with PTSD. She said the hurt will go on for years and years. Here also says this is, wow, you took him to the hot springs. You raped him. You left him face down in the hot water, and before that, you beat him. When I asked the undertaker, he said Lawrence looked like he'd been in a car wreck. You must have taken your anger for everybody out on that young man. And said then, after he was dead, you satisfied your own selfish needs by raping him. You hurt a lot of people, and the only reason was to satisfy your own perverted sexual desires. I hope they give you the longest sentence they have.
Yeah.
All of it. So, yeah. By the way, I think it was post-mortem, the rape.
Really?
Yeah.
So oh, God, Jesus, he beat him up real bad.
Yeah. I don't know if he thought he was unconscious or what, but yeah. So, he was definitely not conscious when it was going on, they don't think.
Good grief.
His widow gets on the stand, Lawrence's widow, and says she's no longer able to parent her children because she's too scared of everything now, she said, the world. She said, I can't hate you, Melvin. I'll never hate you, but I'm really confused. I lost myself. I lost my family. I lost my best friend. I feel like I'm 6 feet under, too. He's destroyed the whole family. And it's even worse because it's not some stranger where you're like, well, yeah, that's the world. It's dangerous. Like, we fucking know you, and you've been cool always. Yeah. So when the judge asked the widow what sentence, or the county attorney asked the widow, what sentence do you think would be appropriate? And she said, I just want him to be gone forever, just like Lawrence. That was the response.
Okay.
Now, Melvin's sister and mother come out, and they say some way different shit pleading for him. Okay. His mother asked the judge to hand down a sentence that would offer him the opportunity to get out of prison one day. Okay. And the sister, Regina, describes her brother as loyal, caring, loving, and giving, and the best uncle. Well, I think you can... if he has a mug that says "World's Greatest Uncle," you can take that away now. I think
he can turn that in.
I think that's not going to work. Then she says this quote: "He's never done anything toward anybody. I feel this whole thing is a big betrayal on me and my family. They." Pointing to Lawrence's family with their T-shirts on, have never accepted us because we are Blackfeet. That's all we've ever been to them.
What is that?
It's a tribe.
Yeah.
Blackfeet tribe.
Native?
They're native. They're from different tribes.
Okay.
I guess in this family, it's an intertribal family or
And they're
whatever.
Bear
So
Clan.
they're saying, "How dare you fucking that's what it is." So she then says he meant a lot to all of them Elmo people, talking about Melvin here. Yeah. Melvin's mother comes on now and says a life sentence without parole would be too harsh for him. She said, he meant a lot to all them Elmo people. Now they're making a little pebble into a big mountain. He fucking raped and killed his cousin. What are you talking about? That's not a little pebble. This is a fucking mountain, lady. What are you talking about?
A giant one. This is the problem. Yeah.
This isn't like they got in a fight and he punched him in the mouth and they're trying to put him in jail for 20 years for assault. That's a pebble made into a mountain. This is he's dead.
He's dead, and he may have probably raped him after he was dead.
That's crazy. So now they're making a little pebble into a big mountain. He's a human being. Like, we all make mistakes. This is a big one, though. He treated them good, all of them. Now he's the worst person in the world? Yes. Once you rape and kill somebody, guess what? Your status is greatly diminished. Ask OJ what it's like when people think you're a murderer. His life wasn't the same as it was before that trial. I'll tell you that right now.
He didn't even rape anybody that we
know. No, he didn't rape Ron Goldman when he was finished with him. That would have been even crazier. People would have really been like, fuck, OJ.
What kind of guy are you?
Then she goes on to say, when this is over, who else are they going to pick on?
Okay.
Other murderers, hopefully. What are you talking about?
Rapists, yeah.
And rapists, that too. Wow. Then Jolene Madplum, another sister, said that, Jolene's the mother. She went on to say he's not that kind of person, being a psycho. He said that Lawrence's family is, quote, making a big show out of everything. The murder trial for their dead son, making a big fucking deal out of it. A big show. And says they never looked at Melvin as a human being, ever. And they all, wow, that's fucking wild. So, meanwhile, Lawrence's family all comes up and says that this is bullshit. They all said they had taken him in after his parents kicked him out. Their family has been nothing but nice to Lawrence. The morning of the murder, he went over to eat breakfast and have Lawrence's mother make him breakfast. So they didn't treat him like shit, and it's bullshit. Like, he's just a murderer, and fuck him. Yeah. So the prosecutor requests life without parole. That's his request to the judge. Yeah. He said his prospects for rehabilitation are minimal at best, and you have a family that does not want to have to confront this defendant again. He seems to enjoy trying to dominate and hurt other males. That's the perfect way to put it.
There you go, yeah.
Yep,
yeah.
It's clear that he accepts no responsibility. He's shown absolutely no remorse today, the same as he showed at his trial. The defense says, come on. That's all you can say, really. Come on.
I mean, he's trying.
He's trying. His defense attorney says, I think it's part of the court's many duties to temper the anger or emotion that comes from anybody and the desire for retribution and offer the opportunity for someone to come back out and be part of our society. And she added that he set out strict instructions, by the way, the lawyer said, I gave strict instructions to Melvin on how to behave in court. So they said, if there's a sense he's not remorseful, put that on me. I told him to be stoic. Don't act like it hurts you. Right. Melvin said, quote, I'll simply say my heart is as broken as the Ken Mills family. I doubt that. He says, I don't believe a life sentence is anywhere near reasonable. Mm-hmm. What do you think it should be then?
More?
He is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off, life without parole.
Yeah. There.
No parole, and he has to pay $33,634.29 in public defender fees as well.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, that was that. This is based on that for a couple years ago, he got some tribal payments, and so they think he has an income.
Oh.
Yeah, so he has. If you have an income then or any money, then you have to pay it back.
Yeah.
He appeals, arguing that not only the fees, number one, the fees were were imposed on him shouldn't be because he has no way to make the money back, and also that they let in the prior act of the cousin the week before.
Okay.
And they say, no, that's all fine. And even the state's closing argument is that they said the Supreme Court says the argument did not insinuate that homosexual men are predisposed to sexually assaulting straight men. Rather, they used it as it was just what he tried to do the week before. Just he likes to fuck his cousins.
Right.
That's what
homosexual men are not don't tend to do that, but this guy does.
This guy, whatever he is it does it. So now he's in prison now. His appeal is denied.
Yeah.
So life without parole. The hot springs, they found out the hot springs had been operating essentially unlicensed since about 2009.
Yeah.
And in 2019, a woman she dies in one of the hot springs.
Yeah.
So 2019 or 2020, that is. In 2019, there's a big article about how they're totally redoing the place and it's going to be wonderful. And the owners are saying the pool in which Ken Mill died has been all sealed up. They said, they said it was all torn down and exposed the soakers to rolling hills and nighttime canvases. Now they're like kind of outside, like in tent sort of things. Yeah. And so he says, we want to continue to provide the limp in, leap out motto. That's something we want to continue, an immersive healing experience. That's what he says. So he said, we really want to reach out to people who need a place like Wild Horse. 2020, a woman named Carrie Ann Allison, who was 39 years old, from Polson, she apparently needed the hot springs, but she ends up she's dead in one of the springs here. The autopsy, they said that they don't know if it was still like undetermined, whether it was homicide or just a natural death. They arrested a guy, but he was later released without charges. Mm-hmm. But what they did find out, as the campground and pools have been conducting business in violation of a health department order shutting them down for years. So, not great. So the Wild Horse, it was sent a notice to immediately cease operations on September 16th, 2020 by the county health department because it was operating an unlicensed facility more than 2 years after ownership was first notified it was out of compliance. The notice of violation indicated the facility has not been licensed by the state of Montana since 2009.
Not good.
Yes. So they talk about this death, the other death. Also, the owner, Dennis David Larson, was arrested and charged with negligent arson after he set a wood pile on fire, allegedly, that spread out of control and destroyed hundreds of feet of tire bale fence along with trailers and a vehicle on an adjacent property.
Uh-huh.
And he pleaded
somebody else's shit, too.
Somebody else's shit, yeah. So they said they called, and they said a man who answered the phone at the facility that year said the business was not currently accepting reservations but should be up and running by the weekend. The next day, a recorded message said that that it was closed for repairs and upgrades and try back in 2 weeks. It's longer. Currently, you can go there currently. It's on Google. There's a bunch of reviews for it. We're going to put on your stupid opinions.
Oh, great.
There you go. It's a lot of this. There's a lot of green, weird slime going on and shit like that. So
it's got to be.
There you go. There's hot springs.
Wow.
By the way, look this up if you want. There's another murder, I believe, in this family because it's a Mad Plume from the same town. I think it's Melvin's cousin named Catherine with a C, Mad Plume. She was murdered in 2005 in a horrible triple murder that was fucking awful.
What is going on?
I don't know what's going on up there, but that's another. It was between these two cases, and I'm like, these people are related. They're from the same fucking town. This is crazy. So anyway, there you go. That's Hot Springs, Montana.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit. If you like the show, tell the world. Get on whatever app you're on and just say whatever you want. We don't care. Tell us, do you prefer peanut butter and marshmallow or peanut butter and jelly? There you go. Which one? Which one? Fluffernutter or are we going jelly? Where are we going with that? Doesn't matter. So do that. Also, shutupandgivememurder.com. Tickets for live shows, baby. That's right. We are May 31st is our next show in Durham, North Carolina. Still a few tickets left for that. Nashville the next night, no tickets left for that.
Sold out, yeah.
That bad boy's been sold out for a long time.
Can't
So
wait.
get in there. Minnesota, Minneapolis, get your tickets. Make it our
Hell
biggest show
yes.
ever. Austin, OKC, get those tickets. Get in there before they're sold out, because a lot of them are sold out already. So thank you. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com is where you get all of those. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Bonus material coming out your ass. Hundreds of episodes. Anybody who does $5 a month or above, a cup of coffee or tons of funny shit. New episodes every other week, including this week for Crime and Sports, which you have access to. Also, you're going to talk about theme park disasters. We're going to do another one of those. Small town murder, craziest execution methods in history. Holy shit, is that going to be fun? Patreon.com/crime and sports. And you get a shout out at the end of the regular show where Jimmie will fuck your name all up at no additional charge. So that's going to be remarkable. Listen to our other two shows as well. Crime in Sports, which is exactly what it sounds like, but less sports than you'd think and more comedy than any of it. So check that out. And Your Stupid Opinions, which is the funniest hour on the internet. I dare you to find a funnier hour podcast. It will kick your ass. So listen to that as well. And join us again next week. We cannot wait for this. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
with a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.